What are the limits of self-reliance? What are the detriments? That's something I wouldn't have been able to conceive of 4.5 years ago, because I had this notion that all detriments were an ineptness in self-reliance. And I didn't have the words back then, but now I do. Individualism. Man, individualism. I am from that stock. Yeah. 7 Ways to Sunday. Physically. Cutting homes out of a frozen prairie. Spiritually. From those who considered themselves free from the structure of the church, not understanding the vacuum that caused. And then the ones who were within it, still Baptist and Anabaptist and Swede and German and just all of that, like individualism, man. Raise yourself up. Raise yourself up. And only wishing to be more so, only wishing to be more perfect in it. I would not have known the term prior, but seeking to be the Ubermensch, the Superman, and the purest sense of the form, man. Like, that was the aesthetic, the aspiration, the lone rider, the sniper, the circuit riding preacher, all that jazz. Want to be the straight shooter who can hem curtains and cook jam and change tires. Man or woman, mind you, this is the mindset. And oh my, it falls short. I am Sally Jo Michelson Cooper. Welcome to the edge of my mind. Let's jump off. I have come to realize, I have come to conclude, I have come to breathe in the notion that to remain an individual, to remain individualist, is cowardice. And I would say there's a place for it, and that place is somewhere between 12 and 20. Somewhere between 12 and 20, there is an individual adventure to make yourself yourself. But not long after that, to remain stagnant and sterile as an individual is cowardice, I'm afraid. And this is a great, cruel arrow, a large finger pointed mostly at a thing that I was. Because I did want to be able to do it all. And I could not see the bounds of myself. I could not see where that was unreachable anyway. Instead I just achieved more and blamed myself for not being able to achieve more still, and could not see the ineptness in the value in that, because it is so much more daring to be part of a group that you love dearly. It is so much more daring to be part of a family, or to raise a family, or birth a family. It's so much more daring than to try to be the individual who needs no one. To be James Bond. Oh, what a coward. What a coward. James Bond. James Bond. There was nothing for him to fear. His own mortal flesh. Whoop-de-doodly-doo. That's not a scary thing. What's scary is having children. What's scary is loving old and frail people who you know your time with them is fragile and frail, and they will pass on, and you also know your patience will be short and you will have regrets. That is the truth of it. That is where courage lies. Until you've had a child, you do not comprehend what vulnerability is. Because when you have a child, you are indeed as vulnerable as that wee thing's flesh, that quivering 9-10 pounds. You are that vulnerable. And what's worse, if it died, you might not. And that's really what courage is. And I see so many young people, and I wish so heartily that I could shout at myself in the past. But you most certainly cannot. That, compared to that, compared to being part of a family somehow, some way, in some realness, everything else is hollow arrogance. It's hollow arrogance. And if you find yourself that you cannot be blessed with progeny, direct and visceral, there are children out there to love. There are the old, the weak, the frail, the stubborn, the ignorant. There are all those people who would be better for having you to be there, to hold them up. And we're just not doing it. And we could. I mean, you know, for all the zeal and boasting about competence as the independent individual, as the independent man, the independent woman, these Renaissance people, for all that zeal and boasting, couldn't we feed soup to the old? And I'm not saying in such a way to deprive them of what they are capable of. And I'm not saying it in a way that you shouldn't get something back out of it. I'm saying it in a true way to enrich each other. I do not mean going to a soup kitchen to strangers that you will never see again. I in fact find that kind of pointless. I think the first place for charity is in your immediate blood family, as much as you can possibly manage. And then the second is the house next door. And then the third are these broader scope things. And honestly, the broader scope things are the realm of ministers and pastors, and the day-to-day person should be fomenting strength within their own world. And I think that is the strain and the stress and the suffering that the nation feels, and everyone feels it. There is an essential angst in the zeitgeist, and it is from the spine being fractured because we're not reaching our hand out to the people beside us to hold each other up. I did not succeed in that for a long time. I missed people's entire lives. And I didn't mean to. I wasn't attempting to pursue anything negative. I, indeed, at least initially, was firmly convinced I was doing the right thing. I had got caught up in the canned culture, and I don't know if it came through a box through someone I know, or if I imbibed it through one of the boxes, through the many sitcoms and shows and circuses that are made available en masse, or if people who were my mentors really believed in it. I don't know that. But I couldn't pull up. And I hope, because as many people, I am not unique. And I take great comfort in the statistical, I have confidence that statistically I cannot be unique, and it gives me great hope and resolve, because if I have come to this conclusion, I can't be the only one. So surely others have come to this conclusion. And yeah, if I have hit this many brick walls this hard, then my peers have. And if that's what we can do for you, my God, please, I hope you can see the train wreck. And then still, seeing it late is better than seeing it never. The magnitude of what I observe people between 40 and 90 doing gives me great hope too. Man, every time somebody between over 70, every time somebody over 70 gets married, I'm just like, hot damn, the possibilities in later life are it's just amazing, because there are a number of professions that you feel quite old at 30, and that's unrealistic and ridiculous. And I would say if you're physically feeling old, it probably doesn't have to do with age, but habit, and those can be adjusted. And I'm on the upward strain of that, and I can't believe that I'm for sure certain that at 37 I feel better in a lot of ways than at 27, which is like, what the heck's up with that? But you know, trying helps. Trying, and not just running to compensate for diet. I just thought I'd have robot knees by now, but it hasn't been necessary. I'm off topic. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that remaining an individualist and not taking on the weight and the vulnerability of being part of a community is just absolutely for sure self-indulgent cowardice. That's what I've come to the conclusion of, and God, I wish I would have understood it sooner. And I just couldn't. So, please observe my train wreck. Please let it help your life, if you can. Good luck. I want the best for you.